Hello, I'm Gary from Leeds. For those curious about the origins of my exotic stage name, I can confirm that my name is Gary, and I am from Leeds. Don't want you getting me confused with those people who say their name's Gary and they're from Leeds just for the kudos it brings them. In my case, poetry really is the failed stand-up comedian's final meal ticket. This one's called "Your attempt to enjoy this poem is considered unsatisfactory." If you're not feeling this poem, it's because you're not ethically aware. In fact, you're morally bankrupt like someone who reads the FT's How to Spend It supplement. If you're not feeling this poem, your ears are on wonky, full of wax, or not tuned to the dimension in which this poem chooses to operate. If you're not feeling this poem, it's because it's gone over your head. You're an idiot, a moron, a sick pot, a twit. Or it could be just that it's shit. No one has ever accused me of being the festive type. You do have to make an effort in these circumstances, don't you? So here is my Christmassy number. It's called Work in Progress. For Christmas, I want my own bus stop countdown timer, so I can be constantly waiting for something or other. People will view my future sitting down as not just sitting down anymore, but sitting down with purpose. You don't have to wrap it up. There'll obviously be a bus stop countdown timer in there, surprise, both redundant and of little interest anyway to such a newly fledged man of purpose. On top of buses and other methods of transportation I intend to utilise, I'll add in future arguments, feelings, most future meals. I might visit clairvoyants to try and find out my death date to a reasonable level of accuracy, leave some slots free for spontaneity. I want to carry my bus stop countdown timer on my person at all times with a portable stand for show. I want to emanate patience, steely resolve, LED-based technological wizardry. I want to give the impression I got something to look forward to. I said it'd be Christmassy. I did not promise you uplifting. Like many struggling performers, I have taken on a range of soul-crushing office work in order to fund my artistic pretensions. For example, 6 months I spent promoting canals. Believe it or not, the British media are not all that interested in the canal system, except in one specific instance, and that is when you're pushing a story about invasive species, which the Daily Mail can spin into a thinly veiled metaphor about immigration. What I did learn while there is that the canals are a uniquely conflicted beast. All beauty and horror rolled into one towpath-based package. This is called British Waterways. Lovely for dog walking. Bloated dead dog, floating. Ducks and ducklings swim by. Nest of scrap metal. Thriving flora. Japanese knotweed annihilates local gardens. Cruising gracefully. Unwatched kid drowns in lock. Rare mammal spotted. Concrete landscaped waterside development. Idyllic life. Bobbing gently. Jogger murdered at dusk. Peace and quiet. Man in Mac. Wanking. I've been struggling in the employment stakes recently, so much so that I've started to consider a career in crime. The only problem is I'm not really very good at bringing the right equipment to practical circumstances, which I feel may well hold me back in the world of crime, as the following entirely true story will attest. This is called An Easy Mistake to Make. CCTV captured everything. Turns out, pistachio pieces did not disguise features. Cashier, unfazed, licked my face. Cops let me off after having a go with the remaining honey residue. The day I tried to rob a bank in a baklava. Turkish sweetmeat fans in the house, that's my kind of audience. I think it's okay to write about mundane subject matter as long as you're confident enough to be able to pass it off as gritty realism. This is called retail. For a few precious seconds there, it really seemed you were genuinely interested in the content of my day so far. That you responded honestly to my reciprocated inquiry as to yours. Somehow we'd connected, transcended this transaction. But now, till closed, your eyes are cataracted by ennui, dull as lychees. Another thing besides humanity and horse meat found only infrequently in store. Won't take this disappointment as far as a supermarket weep, no, won't trolley dash my jilted head against the automatic doors. There's only so much humanity you can expect on minimum wage. But damn, with faux sincerity like that, you could be a minor actor with bit parts on EastEnders or Casualty. But it seems you've settled for a starring role at Sainsbury's. Although I am from Leeds, I do live down in London, and I recently realised I have failed as a northern poet living in the south of England, and I have failed because I do not have an entirely miserable poem about my hometown, which makes people feel better about paying £700 a month to live in London's Zone 6 with 800 people, bills not included. I am a crowd pleaser though, so I've rectified that issue, and this is called Leaving Leeds Coach Station. Uncertain rewards fucking rife here. Britney's nails next to Mecca bingo. Flat cap man surrounded by blue plastic carrier bags pours his heart into an accordion. The queue at Station Greg's is massive. Poem? No, I'm not that kind of poet, don't worry, I wasn't courting applause or anything there. I tried to make myself feel more at home down south by sort of building a replica Yorkshire in the style of Grand Design's Kevin MacLeod. This is about my progress so far. It's called Kingdom in Exile. It takes 2,467 160 bag boxes of Yorkshire tea to build a livable bungalow. Not a lot of people know that. But it's vital information if you're building a microcosm of God's own county. Far enough away from God's own county to mean whatever building methodology you employ ain't gonna make you feel any more silly. The crunch underfoot as you walk to the door is Henderson's relish flavoured Yorkshire crisps. Pricier than gravel, certainly, but few would argue less tasty as a footpath garnish. All this to fill a void. No one's repping at street level since Woolworths folded. No Yorkshire exiles got anything to touch. You can't feel the texture of good, honest broadband. You can't write a Yorkshire cheque or get paid in Yorkshire currency since National Australia bought out Yorkshire Bank. So I sit in my bath of lukewarm tea and floating soggy crisp crumbs, waiting for this to feel like home. London likes to paint itself as being this creative, transgressive place, but I think its crowning achievement is to convince people to pay premium to drink in venues where the brickwork and electrical wiring are exposed. This is called picking at craft beer labels. It's such a wacky place. It's like a bar, except, yeah, pretty much a bar. Bottled beer, staff, etc. It's such a wacky place. With music, except, yeah, pretty much music, DJ decks, speakers, etc. It's such a wacky place. With an industrial estate vibe, you know. Paint peeling off the walls, plastic seating, prices marked up at authenticity's current rate. It is such a wacky place. No, does not cover the void. Stop me thinking about death. Sitting alone in my pants, eating cat door out the tub. But it's only in stylized squalor and overpriced booze that I can find grace. So keep saying it's ace. It's ace, man. It's ace. It's such a wacky place. All the spoken word artists have got a multimedia piece these days, and I've just got on board that bandwagon big time. Oh, this works. No, that's not it. Come on. Yeah, that works. So, when people are being charitable about poets, they might say something like, oh, the poet, they think the ideas that no one else thinks. The problem with that is that sometimes ideas ought not to be thought. For example, recently, I was considering the crap 1999 #1 single Sunscreen by crap film director Baz Luhrmann. And then I thought, you know what, I could bring something like this back for modern audiences, only instead of drawing my banal advice over a beat from life experience, I just draw it from cheese puns. And unfortunately, that is exactly what has come to pass. This is called life advice with cheese. Do good, but don't be a do-gooder. Be bold in your ideas, be a pioneer. Rock fort if you have to, but avoid 100 years wars. You won't succeed in the circus with just one stilt on. Never read a gorgonzola. Naturalism excites the snakes, and never treat Burks well. They'll only throw it back at you. Camembert, crack out your chest. It's okay to be a suit. Ignore the haters. Experiment with chemicals, but don't go mental. Be the huntsman, but be mindful of the hunted. Never dream of a red Leicester. You're playing blue and always will do. Nor a red Windsor either. Even more support for blue. Steer well clear of stinking bishops and smelly elders of other godly gangs. Visit remote places. The Isle of Mull, Lincolnshire. Now that was the most hack bit of what is a really hack poem. I'm just going to apologise in this breakdown bit. You know, that was just naming cheeses, not even any wordplay in that bit. Not long to go. You may be faced in rural climes with the occasional laughing cow. I say, laugh with them. And remember, you're seriously strong, but you can dare to lean on me when you're not. Knowing all of that, life is a breeze. That's a fucking stupid piece.
It works, it works.
Thank you. That's very charitable of you. When I'm at home practicing in front of the mirror. Instead of a microphone, I use a claw hammer. This is not something I made up to further my mildly sinister stage persona. It's merely that I don't own a microphone. I've got absolutely no reason to own a hairbrush. And I do own a claw hammer. Speaking of tools, well, this would be the bit if it was a true crowd pleaser, I'd do some kind of cock joke, but I don't have any of them. So I'm going to disappoint you and say, speaking of tools, I recently wrote a poem about an Allen key. I find that as I accept my impotence in affecting the larger issues of the world, I'm focusing increasingly on issues that quite literally no one gives a fuck about, and performing them in public to a general air of bewilderment. Welcome to Now. This is called No Opening. My key is called Alan, and frankly, it suits him. If my key wore a name badge, it'd say Alan in Arial size 36, capitalised bold, and underneath, key in slightly smaller font. Alan is a pragmatic key, functional, and there's no wrong with that. Unfortunately, Alan sees himself more as a flair player, a Pierre, Juan Pablo, or even Alan. But despite his avant-garde twisting and turning, he's still reliable, predictable, gets the job done. Alas, Alan, for his many talents, has yet to come to terms with the utter cruelty of the universe. There's absolutely no humorous punchline coming to that one. You know what they say at those how to be a professional performer evening classes? Always end on a down.